Okay, I think it's working. I hope it's working. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Looks like right now I need to make sure the mic is working. Oh, it's muted? Okay, all right. I think it's working. Maybe I should plug in my earbuds and make sure. This is the first time I've actually tried to use the live stream feature, so there's probably going to be some glitches. Okay, see if I can monitor my own volume here. I hope it's working. I can't hear it. Okay, we're going to take it on faith that it's working, and I'm going to get started. Thank you for jumping in. This video will be saved on YouTube, unless I completely flub it and I decide to delete it. It'll be on YouTube, so you can still watch it. And what I'm going to be reading to you is the prologue to my upcoming novel. I've been working on it for a couple of years. It's actually an idea that goes back probably about 10 years, and I've chiseled away on it at different times, but this is really the first concerted effort to complete it as a manuscript. So I'm going to be reading to you the prologue and I'm not even going to worry about setting it up or anything. I'm just going to jump in and read it. So here we go. The room is too small for all of us. I can see that. Families are forcing themselves together into little knots, pressing to make space for the others coming through the doorway at the back. Already, the air is growing stale. Too much exhale and too little fresh intake. The temperature is uncomfortable and rising with the heat of more bodies. I pull at the neck of my suit and twist my shoulders as sweat trickles down my back. I'm overdressed for this little room, but I'm not dressed for this room. I slip out of my pack and set it between my feet. Intermittent shockwaves shake the walls, dropping trickles of dust from the ceiling. A few heads swivel up in fear, only to catch eyefuls. The noise is distant, but I'm sure it's getting closer. Each family forms a little circle, turned inward. Parents and children exchanging handshakes or embracing each other, tears streaming. All the children, like me, wear the bright red planet-side suits, hoods thrown back, packs strung over their shoulders or waiting at their feet. The room is humming with the voices of parents giving last-minute admonitions and encouragements to their children. Only for a few days, until things are safe. Soon, don't be afraid. We love you. Some of my peers seem to be crouching as if readying to spring away from danger. Their heads never stop moving. Their bodies flinch with every brass note that convulses the room. They are the scared animals. Others stand like porcelain statues, bodies rigid, faces pale, eyes fixed. For now, they have forced their emotions deep under the surface, but like porcelain, I know it will not take much for them to crack. A few of the younger, less inhibited children sob openly. I see one gripping her mother's neck, forcing her face deep into the woman's bosom. Her father is trying to calm her. I can't hear his words, but I can see they do no good. Now my mother begins to cry with the child. Now the mother begins to cry with the child, while the father pries the girl loose. I've been crying since last night when father told me, Quinn and Tellman. How could it have come to this? It's not as sharp as mine, I hear Tellman say behind me. I turn. My brothers, Quinn and Tellman, are comparing the blades of their pole knives by cutting notches in the sleeves of their red suits. Their youthful foolishness has been unfazed by all that has happened. At least I know how to use mine, Quinn replies. His pole flicks out toward Tellman's neck, stopping just short. Tellman flinches away and Quinn laughs. I glare at Quinn, but he only shrugs. Even though I am older than him by a year, he pays no heed to me because I am a girl. Quinn whispers something to Tellman and they both laugh, eyes on me, even though I didn't hear. I know what Quinn said. Their levity feels sacrilegious in this place at this time, but they are oblivious. I wish Mother would tell them to stop, but but she is too lost in her own thoughts. She has been staring at Mo since we got here. She carried him from our home, taking care not to jostle his little body so he could keep sleeping. His head lies in the crook of her arm, jaw slack, eyelids closed, legs dangling, sleeping peacefully, unconcerned with the hell that is breaking loose beyond these walls. "We're coming around the horizon. Everybody be ready." Apprentice Sheldon shouts over the room without looking away from his terminal. His hands move like lightning over the controls, pause, then continue. Father is standing beside him, eyes intent on the display. Sheldon is adjusting the contact with the gate planet side, ensuring that we can step through without being shredded in transit. The thought sends a shiver down my spine. I can't imagine the calculations he must be doing in his head. There was no time to finalize the algorithm so the automind could maintain the connection, and most of the men capable of that level of programming betrayed us. Coils of wire run out of Sheldon's terminal to the empty gate frame standing on the platform. Only the room's bleak metal wall shows through it, but not for long. I can feel my hair buzzing with static electricity caused by the signals racing back and forth through the wires. This reminds me just how experimental this all is. "Amrine?" Mother says my name, and I turn to her. Something hard has come into her face. There is a new resolve in her eyes. "Yes, Mama. Your father told me it was my choice. He said he wouldn't make me do it." She stops, choking back emotion. The intervening silence claws at my nerves. "What? What is it?" I say, to fill in the silence, to draw out her words. She glances down at Mo, and I know instantly what she will say. "You must take Mo with you." I'm shaking my head, but she isn't looking at me. Her eyes are fixed on my little brother's sweet, sleeping face. "It will be safer for him to be with you." My mind seizes the first objection it can find. "What will I feed him?" I say. It's a stupid thing to say, and I know it as soon as it passes from my lips. "He'll eat what you eat, Amrine. He's not a baby anymore." This is true. He is nearly 2 cycles old, but to me he still seems so small and fragile. Probably always will. "Just keep him close to you. Care for him, there in the same way you would care for him here." I have often been in charge of Mo while Mother and Father were away, but this is different. We're going planet-side, to an unknown world with minimal supplies, a lonely and untamed place. I have no idea what to expect. No one does. "Mama, I can't. If something happens to him, but what if he gets hurt? I won't know what to do." My own tears choke out my words. But Mother is shaking her head. "You are as capable of protecting him as I am. We do our best to make good choices, but ultimately it is God who protects us." "But we could all die there." I regret my words as soon as I say them. They tear away the resolution from my mother's face. Her eyes redden, spilling tears. To speak so candidly, what I felt was to open a hole in the void and force her to peer into it. "The Maker is good." Her voice cracks and she starts again. "The Maker is good and just. What he wills, he wills." She speaks the words slowly, as if rehearsing them for herself. Then her eyes meet mine. "Trust God, Amrine. We have no other choice." I'm not sure I do trust God. Shouldn't he stop this whole mess from happening in the first place? Mother kisses Mo on the head and hoists him into my arms. I sag slightly under his weight. He draws in a breath, yawns, and rubs his nose with a fist before settling his head onto my shoulder and falling back to sleep. Mother gives me more words of encouragement and instruction, but I hear none of them. Now I am a porcelain statue. Then the thought comes to me. Theron will be with you. Mo feels lighter in my arms. I search for Theron in the crowd, wanting the reassurance of his tall frame and strong face. He's younger than me, but mature beyond both our years. His presence, planet-side, will be a comfort. I see him, standing far back in the room. His pack is strapped on, his pole blade in hand, at attention, ready. His twin brother is nowhere to be seen, but his father is there, gripping his shoulder, speaking into his ear. I wonder what he is saying, because both of their expressions are sharp. Though Theron says nothing in response, their eyes seem to spark off of each other. It has not been long since I have been able to admit the truth to myself. I love Theron, and though he has not said anything, his actions tell me that he feels the same for me. I have told no one, not even him, but already I have begun to imagine our future life together. Now, with all this turmoil, all my hopes stand on the edge of a knife, overshadowed by the terror pulling our lives apart. At least he'll be with me planetside, I tell myself. Theron's twin brother, Tobiah, appears in the door at the back. He searches for Theron and their father, sees them, then presses his way through the crowd to reach them. On his neck there is a red welt, stained with black ink. At first I'm not sure what I'm seeing. Then I realize it's a fresh tattoo. I can't make out the symbol from this distance, but I'm surprised to see it on a boy so young. Their father sees Tobiah and straightens. His eyes fall on the tattoo, and he casts a dark look at Tobiah. Theron has told me of the strained relationship between his brother and father. My thoughts are interrupted by my father's voice. Everyone listen to me. The room grows quiet. All eyes turn to father, standing beside the gate frame. Children? He pauses, giving his beard a gentle tug. It seems that word is no longer a good description for you. We, your parents, and I, your monarch, send you out with full confidence in your abilities. Band together. Don't leave the clearing. The supply drops were completed on the last rotation, so you'll have more than enough supplies. Quinn will be in charge in my stead. I glance over at Quinn, who is grinning like an idiot who has just been given good marks in a test of intelligence. No one else seems to notice. Father nods to the bishop. Bishop raises his hands, closes his eyes, and offers a blessing over us. His words are cut short by an electric hum that roars to life in the gate frame. The metal frame is suddenly filled with a white light, throwing harsh shadows backwards into the room. I blink, retinas burning with the after image. The light undulates and ripples inside the gate frame. Then it dims and begins to take on color, focusing. Someone gasps. The frame is no longer showing the back wall of the room or the blinding light. Peeking from beyond the gate frame is a crystal ocean, framed by towering trees, so tall their tops are out of view. The ocean spreads to the far horizon. The sky is a dark green blue. Dual moons hang there, one far off, the other close and half hidden by the world's edge. I cannot tell if it is morning or evening in that world. The wild voices of animals call and respond. Flora rustle in the wind. The air currents shift in the room. My hair and loose clothing is pulled towards the frame. The temperature mercifully drops instantly. No one seems to realize we are all just standing there, frozen, until Apprentice Sheldon shouts at us, "Quickly! It won't hold once we round the horizon!" Two soldiers, spear in hand, leap through into that far-off world and take up posts flanking the gate frame. They scan the clearing and nod back to my father. Father calls roll, and the children push forward through the crowd and step to the gate frame. A few are still crying. Some have to be taken through by a parent. As Theron passes me, I smile at him, but he only nods. That doesn't seem like him. But when the world is flipped upside down, who knows what we will become? The room is emptying of all children. Then it is my family's turn. Telman moves in front of Quinn, but Quinn shoves him aside and steps through first. I watch them go through. I step forward, Mo in my arms. I can feel the vibrations of the gate frame through the soles of my boots, tickling the nerves in my feet. There's an electric tang in the air. I taste it in my mouth. I take one last breath before stepping out into that other wide open world. Instantly, I feel the weight of my body increase. I stumble, nearly drop Mo, then recover. Each breath is thick and soupy. My lungs burn slightly. They warned us about the differences in gravity and atmosphere, but explanation is nothing compared to experience. All around, red crates are piled. The other children are already seated on or around them, taking in laborious breaths. A few are crying for their parents. The little girl that was clinging to her mother earlier was brought through by her father. He hands her off to a sibling, tears himself away, and goes back through the gate frame. The two soldiers are the last adults to go back through the frame. The cramped room beyond, filled with watching faces, seems to glow and blur. I look away, shielding my eyes just as the light flashes its brightest and fades. When I look back, the frame is empty. All I can see through it is the forest beyond, dark and foreboding. Then Mo wakes up, and I start crying again. And that ends the reading of the prologue. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching.